Have you ever wondered why some women walk into a room and instantly catch a man's attention without even trying, while others feel invisible no matter how much effort they put in? That quiet spark, that effortless magnetism, it isn't about being the most beautiful or the loudest voice in the room. It's something much deeper, something within you that can be unlocked, and when you do, everything changes. The truth is, flirting isn't just about playful words or gestures. It's about tapping into your natural confidence, embracing your unique energy, and letting it shine so brightly that he can't help but notice you. And the beautiful part is, this ability already exists inside you. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. You don't have to play games, and you don't have to chase. What you need is the courage to reveal what's already there. Right now, you might doubt yourself. Maybe you felt nervous around a guy you liked, overthinking every word, every move, worried that you'll come across as awkward or too much. That pressure, that fear of rejection can feel heavy, and it can stop you from even trying. But imagine for a moment what it would feel like to walk into any interaction knowing that you have nothing to prove, nothing to hide, and nothing to fear. Imagine feeling light, playful, magnetic, knowing that your presence alone is enough. That is the heart of true flirting. It isn't a performance. It's an authentic expression of who you are, wrapped in warmth, curiosity, and confidence. When you allow yourself to flirt with authenticity, something powerful happens. You stop chasing approval, and you start radiating self-assurance. And here's the psychological truth. People are naturally drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin. Studies on attraction have shown time and time again that confidence, playfulness, and openness are more magnetic than any perfect line or calculated move. A genuine smile, a spark in your eyes, a subtle touch of humor, these are signals that communicate far louder than rehearsed phrases. They tell him, I am here, I am present, and I am enjoying this moment with you. That energy is irresistible. So why should you stay with me through this journey? Because what you're about to discover will not only change how you connect with men, but it will change how you connect with yourself. These surefire tips are not about manipulation or pretending to be someone you're not. They are about empowering you to embrace your feminine confidence, to express interest in a way that feels natural and fun, and to create an energy that pulls him closer without a single word forced. When you understand how to unlock this side of yourself, you'll never again feel stuck wondering what to say, how to act, or whether you're enough. You will know, deep down, that you already have everything it takes. Stay with this, because by the end, you will have tools that will not only help you flirt effortlessly, but also inspire you to show up as the most confident, radiant version of yourself. This isn't just about catching his eye. It's about unlocking your own power, stepping into your own light, and letting every man you meet feel that spark of undeniable energy. That is the reward waiting for you, and it starts right here. Think about the last time you met someone who left an impression on you without even trying. Maybe it was the way they looked at you, the calmness in their voice, or the simple confidence in how they carried themselves. That presence was not about perfection, it was about energy. This is where true flirting begins. It's not about memorizing clever lines or rehearsing how you will act. It's about becoming so grounded in your own worth that your presence does the talking long before your words ever leave your lips. When you connect with a man from this place, he feels it instantly. He feels the calm confidence in you, and it draws him in like a magnet. So many women believe flirting means they have to perform, impress, or put on a show. That belief creates pressure, and pressure kills connection. When you're trying too hard, your body tenses, your words stumble, and your smile feels forced. But when you shift your focus away from trying to be perfect and instead lean into being present, everything changes. Presence is the secret ingredient that makes flirting natural. When you are fully in the moment, enjoying the interaction without worrying about the outcome, he senses your freedom. That freedom feels rare. It feels refreshing. It makes him want to lean closer, to stay longer, to open up more deeply. Psychologists often talk about the power of nonverbal communication. More than 70% of what we communicate comes not from what we say, but from how we say it, how we move, and how we carry ourselves. That means your tone, your eye contact, your gestures, all of these speak volumes before a single word is spoken. Flirting is about mastering this unspoken language. When you smile with your eyes, when you tilt your head with curiosity, when you lean in just slightly to show interest, you are sending signals that are impossible to ignore. These signals tell him that you are open, confident, and enjoying the connection. And because human beings are wired to mirror what they feel, he will naturally respond with warmth, interest, and energy in return. There is a deeper layer to this as well. When you allow yourself to express interest unapologetically, you give him permission to step forward too. Many men carry their own fears of rejection, their own insecurities about being noticed or wanted. When you show, even in subtle ways, that you see him and enjoy his presence, you relieve that pressure. You open the door for him to relax, to be himself, and to meet you on the same level. That is when conversations flow naturally. That is when playful energy builds. That is when chemistry sparks without effort. And here's the empowering truth. You don't need to be the most beautiful woman in the room to create this effect. Beauty fades in memory, but energy lingers. People remember how you made them feel long after they forget what you were wearing or how your hair looked that day. Flirting is your chance to create a feeling, a moment that he will want to return to again and again. When you cultivate presence, when you master nonverbal cues, when you let go of the need to impress and instead focus on enjoying the moment, you become unforgettable. This is not about tricks. It is not about games. It is about aligning with the version of yourself that is confident, playful, and free. That alignment is what makes you magnetic. It makes him curious. It makes him want more. And when you feel that energy within you, you'll realize flirting is not something you force. It is something you allow. It's the effortless expression of your most radiant self, and it begins the moment you choose to step into your own power. Confidence grows from the inside, but it reveals itself in the smallest, simplest details. Think about the way your body moves when you're at ease compared to when you're anxious. When you feel comfortable, your shoulders naturally relax, your voice flows with ease, and your eyes meet his without hesitation. When you feel tense, everything tightens. Your posture closes, your words become cautious, and your energy feels guarded. Flirting works best when you begin by releasing that tension, by choosing to carry yourself in a way that communicates openness. Because long before you ever speak, your body has already spoken for you. This is why posture and body language matter so deeply. Standing tall, with your chest slightly open and your head lifted, signals confidence in a way words never could. Leaning in just slightly when he speaks shows interest, while a playful glance away creates mystery and intrigue. These tiny movements seem small, but they carry tremendous power. They tell him you're engaged, you're comfortable, and you're inviting him to connect more deeply. Studies in social psychology show that mirroring another person's body language creates instant rapport. So when you subtly reflect his gestures, his tone, or even his rhythm of speech, you send a subconscious message that says, I understand you, I'm in sync with you. That connection is felt immediately, and it builds trust without a single word of explanation. But flirting isn't only about sending signals, it's about how you feel when you send them. If you force a smile, it loses its power. If you lean in without genuine interest, he feels the disconnect. Authenticity cannot be faked. That's why the first step is not the gesture itself, but the mindset behind it. You must choose to see yourself as valuable, desirable, and worthy of attention. When you believe that, your body naturally expresses it. A smile becomes brighter because it's real. Eye contact becomes magnetic because it carries confidence. Even silence becomes powerful because you're not rushing to fill space. You're comfortable letting the moment breathe. Many women underestimate the strength of silence in flirting. They think they need to keep talking, keep entertaining, keep proving themselves. But silence, paired with presence, creates tension, and tension is the heartbeat of attraction. When you pause, when you let your eyes linger for just a second longer, when you allow a smile to stretch slowly across your face, you create a space he wants to lean into. That pause speaks louder than any perfect line ever could. It says, I'm here, I'm confident, I'm enjoying this, and I don't need to rush. That calm control is intoxicating. Remember, men are not only responding to what you do, they are responding to how you make them feel. When your body language tells him you're open, confident, and playful, he feels safer, more alive, and more drawn to you. He doesn't just see you, he experiences you. And that experience is what keeps him thinking about you long after the moment has passed. Flirting is not about chasing or proving. It's about creating a presence so magnetic that he wants to come closer again and again. Every gesture, every glance, every pause is a brushstroke on the canvas of attraction. The art is not in perfection, but in the authenticity of the expression. When you align your body language with your inner belief in your worth, you radiate a confidence that no one can ignore. That is the essence of true flirtation. It is not forced, it is felt. It flows naturally from the power you choose to step into. And once you embrace that, every interaction becomes an opportunity to shine brighter and connect deeper. The words you choose can either open the door to connection or close it without you even realizing. But flirting is not about rehearsed lines or trying to sound clever. It's about creating a rhythm, a dance of words that feels natural, light, and inviting. The key is curiosity. When you show genuine interest in what he says, when you listen fully instead of planning your next response, you shift the entire dynamic. You are no longer a performer on a stage. You are a partner in a moment. And that is when conversation transforms from small talk into something magnetic. Psychologists have found that one of the most powerful ways to build attraction is through self-disclosure. This doesn't mean oversharing or telling your life story all at once. It means sprinkling small pieces of yourself into the conversation in a way that invites him to do the same. Sharing a little personal detail, a small vulnerability, or a playful thought creates intimacy. It shows trust, and trust is a cornerstone of connection. When you reveal something genuine, you give him permission to step closer and share in return. That exchange builds a bond that is far stronger than surface-level chatter. Playfulness is another ingredient that cannot be overlooked. Flirting thrives on lightness, on the ability to turn ordinary moments into sparks of joy. A teasing comment, a playful laugh, a gentle challenge, these show confidence and create a sense of fun. Laughter releases tension, and when you can make him smile, you create an emotional memory he will carry with him. Research shows that humor increases feelings of closeness and attraction because it lowers defenses and activates pleasure centers in the brain. Every playful word you share builds chemistry on a subconscious level. But beneath the words and laughter lies something even deeper, the courage to be authentic. Too often, women silence themselves, afraid of saying the wrong thing, worried they'll come across as too eager or not enough. That fear creates hesitation, and hesitation weakens the connection. The truth is, the most powerful thing you can say is something real. When your words come from a place of honesty and presence, they land with impact. Even a simple phrase like, "I like the way you said," that carries weight when it's spoken with sincerity. Authentic compliments, authentic curiosity, authentic laughter. These are the threads that weave attraction into something lasting. There is also power in how you pace your words. Speaking slowly, with intention, draws him into your world. Rushing through your sentences signals nervousness, but steady, calm speech communicates self-assurance. Pausing before you respond shows you're thoughtful, engaged, and comfortable letting the moment breathe. These small adjustments in your rhythm create an unspoken tension that makes every word more captivating. It's not just what you say, it's how you let it linger, how you let him feel the energy between you in the spaces where silence and words intertwine. The most magnetic women are not the ones with the perfect line ready. They are the ones who combine curiosity, playfulness, and authenticity into their conversations. They know that flirting is not about impressing. It's about connecting. And when you lean into that, every interaction becomes effortless. He won't remember every word you say, but he will remember how it felt to talk with you, how it felt to be truly seen, and how it felt to laugh freely in your presence. That is the true gift of flirting through words. It's not about capturing his attention for a moment. It's about creating a feeling he wants to return to again and again. Attraction deepens when emotion is involved because emotion is the language the heart understands. A man may forget the exact words you spoke, but he will never forget the feeling you stirred within him. This is why true flirting goes beyond words, beyond body language, beyond surface charm. It's about awakening emotion, curiosity, excitement, admiration, even the simple joy of feeling noticed. When you can touch his emotions, You move from being someone he talks to into someone he thinks about long after the moment has ended. One of the strongest emotional triggers you can use is appreciation. Everyone longs to feel valued, to feel seen in a world that often overlooks them. When you express genuine appreciation for something about him, whether it's his perspective, his energy, his effort, you light up something powerful inside of him. Compliments that go deeper than appearance are especially magnetic because they reach his identity. When you say, "See, I like how passionate you are about that," or admire the way you think about things, you speak to the core of who he is, not just the surface. That recognition makes him feel understood, and feeling understood is irresistible. Another way to stir emotion is through contrast. Attraction grows in the space between comfort and challenge. If everything feels too easy, the spark fades. If everything feels too difficult, the connection breaks. But when you create a rhythm of warmth and playful challenge, you ignite a fire that keeps him engaged. This can be as simple as teasing him lightly after showing interest, or playfully disagreeing in a way that sparks a deeper conversation. These moments of contrast create tension, and tension is the electricity that fuels attraction. There is also immense power in vulnerability. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. When you share a small truth about yourself, when you allow him to see a part of you that is real and unpolished, you open a door for intimacy. You show him that you are human, layered, and unafraid to be seen. In return, he feels safe to lower his own guard. This exchange of vulnerability builds emotional closeness faster than anything else. It says, "Trust you enough to let you in," and that trust is unforgettable. But vulnerability must be balanced with self-assurance. The most captivating women are those who can reveal softness without losing strength, who can be open without being dependent. When you stand firm in your worth while still allowing someone to see your heart, you create a harmony that is rare. That harmony is magnetic because it makes you both approachable and inspiring. It shows him that you are whole on your own, but open to connection. That is the sweet spot where attraction blossoms. Emotion is also stirred by mystery. Mystery does not mean hiding who you are or playing games. It means revealing yourself in layers, leaving space for curiosity to grow. When you share just enough to spark his imagination but hold back enough to keep him wondering, you create a pull. The human mind is wired to seek closure, and when a man feels there is more to discover about you, he is drawn back again and again. Mystery is not about withholding. It's about pacing, about allowing the connection to unfold like a story instead of giving away every chapter at once. When you weave together appreciation, playfulness, vulnerability, strength, and mystery, you create an emotional experience that he cannot forget. This is the essence of powerful flirting. It is not about performing a role, but about awakening emotions that make him feel alive. And when you realize that you hold the power to create those feelings simply by being present, authentic, and intentional, you step fully into your feminine strength. You become not just someone he notices, but someone he is moved by, someone who changes the way he feels about himself and about you. That is the kind of attraction that endures, and it begins with the emotions you choose to awaken. Magnetism is not about doing more, but about doing less with greater intention. The moments that draw someone closer are often the simplest ones, delivered with clarity and purpose. When you slow down, when you become deliberate with your movements, your words, your energy, you create presence. Presence is rare in a world that rushes, and it is irresistible. A man can sense when you are fully with him, when your attention is undivided, and it makes him feel important in a way few experiences can. That feeling is what bonds him to you, not through force, but through the subtle gravity of your attention. Eye contact is one of the purest ways to harness this power. When you hold his gaze for just a moment longer than usual, when you allow your eyes to soften instead of darting away, you create intimacy without a word. The human brain is wired to interpret eye contact as connection, and prolonged eye contact activates the same regions associated with pleasure and bonding. It's a simple act, but it carries a depth that makes him feel like he is the only person in the room. That kind of focus is rare, and because it is rare, it is unforgettable. Your voice holds this same power. The tone you use, the pace you choose, the pauses you allow, they all carry meaning. A softer, slower tone invites closeness. A playful lift in your voice signals lightness and intrigue. Even silence between words can be powerful because silence is not emptiness. It is space charged with anticipation. When you let your words breathe, when you choose not to rush, you allow him to lean into the moment. That space draws him closer because it creates tension. And tension is the spark of desire. Touch, when used with intention, is another way to amplify connection. It does not need to be bold or constant. A light brush on the arm during laughter, a subtle touch on the shoulder as you lean closer. These moments of contact release oxytocin, the bonding hormone in both of you. The touch says without words, I'm comfortable with you, I trust you. And because touch is felt instantly in the nervous system, it bypasses thought and goes straight to emotion. The result is a deepening of connection that words alone cannot achieve. Yet, the power of these gestures lies not in the gestures themselves, but in how naturally they emerge from your confidence. Forced touch feels uncomfortable. Empty eye contact feels hollow. A voice without sincerity falls flat. What makes these signals magnetic is when they are aligned with how you genuinely feel. If you feel playful, your laughter and touch will naturally carry that energy. If you feel intrigued, your eyes will naturally linger. Authenticity breathes life into every signal, turning a simple gesture into something unforgettable. The truth is, subtlety is often more powerful than grand gestures. It's the half smile that lingers, the unexpected pause before you answer, the glance that communicates more than words could ever capture. These small acts ignite curiosity, and curiosity is what keeps him engaged. He finds himself wanting to know more, to feel more, to stay in your presence longer. Flirting is not about doing everything at once. It's about weaving small, intentional moments that build a tapestry of attraction over time. Each look, each word, each pause adds to the rhythm of connection. When you embrace this rhythm, you realize you don't need to force attraction. You simply allow it to unfold, moment by moment, gesture by gesture. And the beauty is that the more you trust yourself, the more effortlessly this energy flows. You become not just a woman he notices, but a woman he feels drawn to on a level he cannot explain. That is the silent power of presence, and it is always within your reach. Every interaction you have carries an energy, and that energy shapes the way others experience you. When you approach a moment with heaviness, with fear or doubt, it shows. But when you carry lightness, when you radiate joy and confidence, the atmosphere around you changes instantly. Flirting is not only about making him feel something. It is also about making yourself feel alive, playful, and free. Because when you feel good within yourself, it naturally flows outward, and he feels it too. Attraction is contagious energy. The more you enjoy the moment, the more magnetic you become. This is why self-confidence is the foundation of every powerful interaction. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not about convincing yourself that you are better than anyone else. It is about knowing your worth so deeply that you no longer need external validation to prove it. When you flirt from this place, you are not seeking approval. You are expressing your energy, your playfulness, your curiosity, because you already know you are enough. That freedom takes away pressure. And without pressure, your natural charm can breathe. There is a powerful psychological effect known as emotional contagion. It means people tend to mirror the emotions of those around them. If you are nervous, he feels nervous. If you are lighthearted, he relaxes and matches that energy. If you are confident, he feels more secure with you. This is why the energy you bring matters more than any line, gesture, or tactic. When you show up fully in your own light, you give him the chance to rise to that same level. Your energy sets the tone for the entire interaction. Playfulness is an expression of this confidence. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously, that you are comfortable enough to let go and enjoy the moment. A playful remark, a light laugh, or even a mischievous smile communicates ease. It says, I'm here to have fun, not to prove myself. That shift makes him feel safe to relax, and attraction grows in that space. Men are drawn to women who carry that energy of ease because it lifts the weight of expectation from the moment. It allows chemistry to flow without effort. Another expression of confidence is the ability to handle rejection without fear. When you know your worth, rejection loses its power. It becomes nothing more than a mismatch, not a reflection of your value. And that fearlessness is magnetic. A man senses when you are secure enough not to cling to his response. when your identity is not tied to his approval. That independence makes your attention even more valuable because it is freely given, not desperately sought. Confidence also shines through boundaries. When you know what you deserve, when you honor your standards without apology, you radiate strength. Flirting does not mean lowering your standards to please someone. It means inviting connection while standing firmly in your truth. That balance of openness and self-respect creates a powerful allure. It tells him, I am available for connection, but I do not lose myself in it. That clarity makes you unforgettable, because true confidence is both soft and strong. The essence of flirting, then, is not about perfect strategies. It is about alignment. When you align your actions, your words, your energy with the deep knowing of your worth, you become magnetic. You stop chasing, you stop overthinking, and you start embodying the version of yourself that is radiant, playful, and unshakable. That embodiment is what draws him in because he feels not only your presence, but also your strength. And once you embrace that, flirting is no longer about effort. It becomes an effortless expression of who you truly are. Magnetic energy is amplified through contrast, and one of the most powerful contrasts in flirting is the balance between softness and strength. Men are deeply drawn to women who embody both, the warmth that invites closeness and the confidence that commands respect. Too much softness without strength can feel uncertain, while too much strength without softness can feel closed. But when you blend the two, you create a dynamic tension that keeps him intrigued and invested. He senses both your openness and your boundaries, your playfulness and your depth, and that combination makes you unforgettable. Softness is expressed in the way you make space for connection. It's the way you smile, the way you listen, the way you allow moments of intimacy to unfold without rushing. Softness communicates safety. It tells him you're approachable, that he can relax and be himself around you. Human connection thrives in spaces where people feel safe to let their guard down, and your softness creates that environment. It's in the kindness of your tone, the warmth of your laughter, the light in your eyes that says, I see you and I enjoy you. That kind of acceptance is irresistible because it meets a deep human need, the need to be valued just as we are. Strength, however, is what ensures that your softness is respected. It's in the way you carry yourself, in the confidence that radiates from your posture, in the clarity of your boundaries. Strength communicates self-worth. It shows that while you are open to connection, you do not lose yourself in it. This balance creates attraction because it sends a powerful message. You are available, but not desperate, interested, but not dependent. That independence makes your attention more valuable because it comes from choice, not need. Psychologists call this dynamic the principle of scarcity. People place higher value on what feels rare and precious. When your strength communicates that you are not seeking approval, but instead choosing where to give your energy, you elevate the significance of your attention. He feels privileged to receive it, and that feeling makes him more invested. At the same time, your softness ensures that your presence never feels distant or cold. You are approachable yet unattainable, kind yet discerning, open yet self-assured. That paradox is magnetic. Another dimension of strength and softness is how you handle tension. Attraction lives in tension, in the spaces between certainty and curiosity. Softness allows you to lean into playful moments, to laugh, to tease, to enjoy the lightness of connection. Strength allows you to hold space during silence, to maintain eye contact without wavering, to create an atmosphere of intrigue. When combined, these qualities build a rhythm that keeps him guessing, keeps him engaged, and keeps the energy alive. The beauty of this balance is that it requires no performance. Both qualities already exist within you. There are moments in your life when you have been soft, nurturing, inviting. There are other moments when you have been strong, steady, unshakable. Flirting is not about choosing one or the other. It is about allowing both to shine through in harmony. When you do, you create a depth of energy that pulls him closer without effort. True magnetism is not built on extremes. It is built on balance. The tenderness that draws him in combined with the strength that keeps you grounded. The openness that makes him feel seen combined with the self-respect that ensures you are never overlooked. This balance is what makes flirting feel alive, dynamic, and unforgettable. And when you embrace both sides of yourself without apology, you discover that the most powerful way to connect is not to perform, but to embody the fullness of who you are. That embodiment is the spark he feels, the spark he cannot resist, and the spark that only grows stronger the more you own it. Every moment you spend with a man is an opportunity to create an atmosphere. An atmosphere is everything. Attraction is not just built on what is said or done, but on the emotional climate that surrounds the interaction. When your presence feels uplifting, when it feels like a space of lightness and excitement, he naturally wants to stay in it. Human beings are drawn to environments where they feel alive, and you have the power to create that experience simply by the energy you choose to bring. One of the most powerful ways to shape this atmosphere is through play. Play is not childish, it is liberating. It is the willingness to let go of heaviness, to embrace spontaneity, to invite joy into the moment. Play communicates freedom. It shows that you are not weighed down by fear or expectation, that you are here to enjoy the present. A playful smile, a teasing remark, a moment of shared laughter, all of these break tension and remind both of you that flirting is meant to be fun. This lightness is magnetic because it awakens something inside of him that craves joy. In a world that can feel heavy and demanding, your ability to create play becomes a rare gift. But play alone is not enough. To keep attraction alive, there must also be depth. Depth is found in your ability to listen, to notice, to engage with him in a way that makes him feel valued. When you truly pay attention, when you ask questions that go beyond the surface, you create a sense of significance. He feels that you are not only enjoying his presence, but also genuinely interested in who he is. That feeling of being seen on a deeper level is what makes you unforgettable. It is not about flattery or performance. It is about curiosity, about showing that his thoughts, his dreams, his stories matter to you. This combination of play and depth creates a rhythm that keeps the connection alive. Too much play without depth can feel shallow, like sparks that burn out quickly. Too much depth without play can feel heavy, like a weight that drains the moment. But when you weave the two together, you create a dynamic flow, lightness that keeps the energy high, depth that keeps the bond meaningful. This balance is what sustains attraction, transforming a fleeting spark into something that lingers long after the interaction ends. What makes this especially powerful is that it does not require effort. It requires presence. When you are fully present, you naturally laugh more easily, you naturally listen more deeply, you naturally create an environment where both joy and intimacy can thrive. Presence removes the noise of overthinking, the fear of rejection, the pressure to impress. It allows you to enjoy him as he is, and it allows him to enjoy you without distraction. That presence is rare, and because it is rare, it is irresistible. Every woman has within her the ability to create this atmosphere. It does not depend on beauty, status, or perfection. It depends on choice, the choice to show up with openness, curiosity, and joy, the choice to balance play with depth, lightness with significance, the choice to bring energy that feels alive. When you make that choice, flirting becomes effortless because you are no longer trying to create attraction, you are simply creating an environment where attraction thrives naturally. And once you understand that power, you realize that every interaction is in your hands, shaped by the energy you decide to bring into the moment. Attraction flourishes when there is space for curiosity, because curiosity keeps the mind engaged and the heart invested. The truth is, people are drawn not to what they fully understand, but to what they are still discovering. Flirting becomes powerful when you allow mystery to coexist with openness, when you reveal enough to spark interest, but hold back enough to keep him wondering. This does not mean playing games or hiding who you are. It means pacing your energy, sharing yourself in layers, and letting the connection unfold like a story that he cannot stop reading. Mystery is powerful because it awakens the imagination. When he senses there is more to you than what you reveal in a single moment, his mind begins to fill in the gaps. He starts to anticipate, to wonder, to crave more time in your presence to uncover the parts of you that remain unseen. Psychology shows that anticipation can be even more powerful than the reward itself, because the mind thrives on the tension of what is not yet known. By allowing space, by not rushing to give everything away, you give him the gift of anticipation. But mystery without warmth can feel distant, and that is why it must be paired with openness. Openness shows him that you are approachable, that your interest is genuine, that you enjoy his presence. It is the smile that reassures, the laughter that welcomes, the thoughtful response that validates. This openness creates safety, and when combined with mystery, it creates an irresistible paradox. You are both accessible and elusive. both known and unknown, both present and just beyond reach. That duality keeps him engaged because it activates both comfort and challenge, the two forces that fuel attraction. This balance also protects your energy. By not rushing to reveal every detail of your life, you maintain control over the pace of intimacy. You decide what to share, when to share, and how to share it. This not only keeps him intrigued, but it also honors your own boundaries. It ensures that your energy is not given away too quickly, that your presence retains its value, that he understands your time and attention are precious. That respect for yourself is magnetic because it signals strength. And strength combined with openness is the very essence of allure. Mystery also allows for silence to become powerful. You don't need to fill every pause with words or explanations. Sometimes the most captivating moments are found in the spaces in between, when eye contact lingers, when a smile says more than a sentence, when you allow the air to be charged with unspoken energy. Silence, when paired with confidence, becomes an invitation. It invites him to lean in, to pursue, to invest more of himself into the connection. That pursuit deepens his engagement, because what is earned always carries more weight than what is simply given. When you embrace this rhythm of openness and mystery, you create a dance of attraction that feels effortless. He feels both comforted by your warmth and challenged by your depth. He senses both closeness and distance, both security and intrigue. That duality makes him want to know more, to stay longer, to come closer. And the beauty is, you don't need to force any of it. You simply need to trust the power of holding back just enough, of letting your presence speak in layers, of revealing yourself slowly with intention. That trust transforms flirting from something you do into something you embody, and that embodiment is what makes you unforgettable. Flirting becomes truly magnetic when it is infused with authenticity, because authenticity is the rarest quality of all. In a world where so many people wear masks, pretend to be someone they are not, or say what they think others want to hear, authenticity cuts through the noise. It is disarming, refreshing, and unforgettable. When you allow yourself to show up as you are, confident, imperfect, real, you invite a connection that feels genuine. And genuine connection is the foundation of lasting attraction. Authenticity begins with self-acceptance. When you accept who you are without apology, you stop trying to force yourself into roles that don't fit. You stop chasing perfection and start embracing presence. This shift is powerful because it changes your energy. Instead of seeking approval, you radiate certainty. Instead of hiding flaws, you own them with grace. That kind of confidence is not loud. It is calm, steady, and magnetic. A man feels it instantly because it tells him you are not afraid to be seen, and when you are not afraid to be seen, he feels safe to show more of himself too. The psychology of attraction shows that vulnerability paired with confidence creates the deepest bonds. Vulnerability alone can feel fragile, while confidence alone can feel untouchable. But when you allow yourself to be both, you create a harmony that is irresistible. Sharing a small truth, admitting a playful quirk, laughing at yourself without shame, these acts of authenticity invite intimacy without demanding it. They say, I am real and I'm comfortable being real. That message resonates deeply because it touches something universal, the longing to connect without pretense. Authenticity also frees you from the fear of mistakes. When you believe you must be perfect to be attractive, every word and action feels like a test. But when you accept that imperfection is part of being human, you relax. You allow moments to flow naturally. You laugh when things are awkward instead of hiding from them. This ease makes you far more magnetic than perfection ever could, because it shows resilience, confidence, and joy. Men are not drawn to flawless performance. They're drawn to the kind of presence that makes them feel alive, comfortable, and inspired. Another reason authenticity is so powerful is that it creates consistency. When you are real, you don't need to remember a script or maintain a facade. What he sees is what he gets, and that reliability builds trust. Trust is one of the deepest layers of attraction because it makes him feel safe, investing more of himself. Without authenticity, attraction fades quickly because the foundation is unstable. With authenticity, attraction grows because it rests on something true. The key to embodying authenticity is not to try harder, it is to let go. Let go of the pressure to impress, Let go of the fear of being judged. Let go of the idea that you must be anything other than who you are. What remains is your natural energy, your natural charm, your natural magnetism. That is what makes you stand out, because no one else can replicate it. When you flirt from this place, every glance, every word, every smile carries weight. Not because it is perfect, but because it is real. And real is rare. Real is magnetic. Real is unforgettable. When you trust yourself enough to be authentic, you step into a level of confidence that cannot be faked. You stop chasing attraction and start creating it simply by allowing your true self to shine. And that is the kind of energy that not only captures attention in the moment, but lingers long after, leaving an impression that lasts. Flirting is not only about what you say or how you look. It is about the energy you project and the way you listen. Most people believe attraction comes from speaking the right words or delivering clever lines, but the truth is far deeper. Attraction grows strongest when someone feels truly seen and heard. Listening is one of the most underrated yet powerful forms of flirting because it communicates attention, respect, and genuine interest. When you give someone the gift of your full presence, you make them feel important. And the feeling of importance is one of the greatest emotional needs every human carries. When you listen with intention, you are not just waiting for your turn to speak. You are leaning into his words, noticing the tone of his voice, watching the way his eyes move when he talks. You are not rushing to fill silence or prove yourself. You are making space for him to be fully expressed. That kind of listening is rare, and because it is rare, it is magnetic. It shows that you value him beyond appearances, beyond surface-level attraction. It tells him you are not just interested in impressing him, but in knowing him. That difference shifts the entire energy of the interaction because it taps into something deeper than flirtation. It taps into connection. Psychology shows that people feel closest to those who validate their emotions. When you respond with curiosity, when you nod with genuine interest, when you reflect back what you heard, you are not just listening, you are affirming his sense of worth. This does not require you to agree with everything he says. It requires you to care enough to pay attention. And that attention is intoxicating because it communicates that in this moment, nothing matters more than him. Listening also makes your words more powerful. When you fully understand what he shares, you can respond in a way that resonates, that shows depth, that sparks further connection. Your responses become tailored to him rather than generic, and that uniqueness makes him feel chosen. Most people rarely feel truly chosen. When you give that gift through your presence, you ignite emotions that linger far beyond the moment. Another hidden benefit of listening is the energy it creates in your body. When you are fully present, your eyes soften, your body relaxes, your smile becomes natural. You stop trying to control the impression you make and instead allow yourself to flow with the moment. That relaxed state is deeply attractive because it communicates confidence without effort. You are not desperate to impress. You are simply open, attentive, and secure. That energy draws him in because it makes him feel at ease. And ease is one of the strongest foundations for lasting chemistry. Listening also strengthens the balance between mystery and openness. By holding space for him to talk, you reveal less of yourself immediately, which maintains intrigue, while still showing warmth through your responses. This keeps the dance of attraction alive because he feels both engaged and curious. He sees that you are not rushing to dominate the conversation, yet he senses depth in you that invites him to lean closer. True listening is not passive. It is an act of power. It signals that you are confident enough to give attention without needing to steal it. It proves that you find value in connection, not just performance. And it leaves a lasting impression because people rarely forget how it feels to be genuinely heard. When you master this form of flirting, you create an energy that no words could ever replace. You make the interaction unforgettable because in a world full of noise, you become the silence that makes someone feel seen. Flirting becomes unforgettable when it is infused with playfulness. Playfulness is not about acting childish or pretending to be someone you are not. It is about bringing lightness into the connection, allowing laughter and joy to weave naturally between you. In a world where so many people carry stress, seriousness, and heavy thoughts, playfulness becomes a refreshing contrast. It creates an atmosphere where he can let down his guard, where he can feel safe to smile, to laugh, to simply enjoy the moment without pressure. That energy is contagious, and when you embody it, you transform an ordinary interaction into something that feels alive. Playfulness is rooted in confidence, because it requires the courage to let go of perfection. When you allow yourself to tease gently, to laugh freely, to not take every word too seriously, you signal that you are secure enough to enjoy the present. That security is magnetic because it shows you are not seeking approval. You are simply sharing joy. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good, and laughter is one of the fastest ways to build connection. Psychology reveals that humor lowers defenses, increases trust, and releases dopamine, the chemical linked to pleasure and bonding. By sparking laughter, you are not just entertaining, you are literally creating chemistry in his brain that ties positive feelings to your presence. Playfulness also helps balance attraction with comfort. Without it, interactions can feel too heavy, too serious, too intense, too quickly. By adding moments of lightness, you create contrast, and contrast keeps the energy dynamic. It prevents the connection from becoming predictable because he never knows when you might throw in a clever remark, a playful glance, or a witty response. That unpredictability builds intrigue, while the joy beneath it builds warmth. Together, they make the interaction memorable. But playfulness is not about forcing jokes or performing. It is about tuning into the natural rhythm of the moment and allowing your authentic energy to shine. Sometimes it is found in a raised eyebrow, in a smile held for a second longer, in a teasing comment that says, "I'm enjoying this." The key is sincerity. Forced humor feels flat, but genuine playfulness feels electric. It shows that you are present, that you are relaxed, that you are enjoying yourself, and enjoyment is deeply attractive. Playfulness also reveals resilience. When you can laugh at yourself, when you can handle a small, awkward moment with grace and humor, you demonstrate strength. You show that you are not fragile, that you can handle life with ease, that you can turn even imperfections into something fun. That attitude is magnetic because it inspires others to relax too. When he sees that you are not shaken by little things, he feels safer around you, more at ease, more willing to drop his own defenses. The beauty of playfulness is that it awakens both the mind and the heart. It stimulates curiosity while soothing tension. It deepens attraction while building trust. It shows him that being with you is not just exciting, it is enjoyable, and that enjoyment makes him want more. The memory of laughter lingers long after words are forgotten, and the spark of joy becomes a thread he cannot ignore. When you bring playfulness into flirting, you do not just capture attention, you create an experience he craves to feel again. Flirting is often thought of as something that happens only with words or glances, but one of the most powerful elements of attraction is silence. The space between words, the moments when nothing is said, can sometimes speak louder than any clever line. Silence creates tension, and tension is the spark that keeps desire alive. When you allow pauses to exist, when you let your eyes hold his just a second longer without rushing to fill the gap, you invite him to lean in, to wonder, to feel the energy that builds in the unspoken. That space becomes magnetic because it gives him room to feel, to process, to become more present with you. Most people fear silence because they believe it will make things awkward. They rush to speak, to fill the air, to prove they are interesting. But when you embrace silence, you break that pattern. You signal confidence, because only someone secure in themselves can remain calm in those moments. And that calmness is powerful. It tells him you are not afraid of connection, not afraid of intimacy, not afraid of being seen. Silence transforms from emptiness into electricity when it is held with intention. It is in those moments that hearts beat faster, that eyes search for meaning, that attraction deepens beyond words. Silence also creates contrast. Conversation flows with peaks and valleys, and it is within those valleys that emotions gather strength. Just as music needs pauses to create rhythm, so does connection. If everything is constant words, constant noise, nothing stands out. But if you allow stillness to exist, the things you do say carry more weight. Your words land with more impact because they are not drowned in a stream of endless talking. Instead, they emerge from the silence like sparks in the dark, drawing his attention fully to you. Psychology shows that humans are deeply affected by tension and release. When there is a pause, the mind leans in, searching for resolution. That moment of leaning in creates emotional investment. He begins to wonder, what will she say next? What does this pause mean? Why does this silence feel so alive? That curiosity keeps him engaged, and that engagement fuels connection. Silence becomes the invisible thread pulling him closer, not because you are doing more, but because you are doing less with intention. There is also something deeply intimate about being comfortable in silence with someone. When you can sit in a moment without speaking and still feel connected, it suggests trust. It suggests presence. It suggests that the bond is strong enough to not require constant performance. That kind of comfort is rare, and when he feels it with you, he recognizes it as something special. It tells him that you are not here to impress. You are here to connect, and that difference changes everything. Flirting with silence requires courage, because it means resisting the urge to always fill the space. But when you master it, you hold one of the most subtle and powerful tools of attraction. In the quiet, his imagination awakens. In the quiet, emotions intensify. In the quiet, connection deepens in ways words could never reach. By allowing silence to speak, you transform moments into memories, and you show that sometimes the most powerful statement is made without saying a single word. When you allow yourself to play, you open a doorway into the most magnetic kind of flirting. Playfulness is not childishness. It is lightness, ease, the ability to transform ordinary interactions into something alive. It is laughter that bubbles naturally, not forced. It is teasing that is gentle and warm, not sharp. It is the spark that makes even simple words feel like a dance. Men are drawn to this energy because it dissolves pressure. It makes them feel good. And when someone feels good around you, they want more of you. Playfulness is not about performing. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of self-doubt and letting your natural joy shine. Think of how heavy the world often feels. Expectations, responsibilities, fears. Most people walk around carrying invisible burdens, and when they meet someone who can lift that weight, even for a moment, it feels like relief. That relief is addictive.